Hello and welcome to Not Every Single. I'm Joe.
And I'm Stephanie.
A little while ago, we did a video looking at the top selling albums of 2002, going back 20 years. And now that it's 2023, I want to do it again. It wasn't a video that got a lot of views, but let's go back and check out 2003 now.
Yeah, it was fun to do it last time. It's a little bit of a game because you reveal them to me.
Yeah, I've looked at the list. I have some interesting thoughts. You have not seen the list. But I love doing this stuff. It's fun to look back at the trends of that year and often surprising number ones, you know?
Yeah, it's never really what you think, or the order is not what you think when you see these best-selling albums.
And I'll tell you what the source is. It's the same source as last video. It's bestsellingalbums.org. So however they rank them, whatever they count, that's what I'm using.
Yeah. This was
Consistent
like
source
before
here.
streaming was really much of a thing, or digital download.
Yeah.
So
Now,
a different time.
I think last time we started at 15.
Okay.
I want to start at 20, but kind of breeze by it and
Okay.
get to 10.
Okay.
All right, so number 20, Saint Anger by Metallica, a very, very divisive record.
I know like zero about Metallica.
Okay, here's what you need to know about Saint Anger. Their hair has been cut.
That was when they cut the hair? Okay, I do remember that.
Shorter hair,
Yeah.
everyone's mad.
Yeah. How dare you cut your hair?
I think maybe it was before that, but it's a shorter hair album.
People are going to yell at us that we got the wrong album.
But here's the important thing, the divisive thing about Saint Anger. It's maybe widely considered the worst snare sound of any album ever. It sounds like a pingy trash can hit. Just like ting, ting, ting. That's
Cool.
every snare hit on the record.
Cool. All right, moving on.
Moving on to something I do not know. Number 19, Josh Turner, Your Man.
Is it like country or
He looks like a
Yeah.
country guy.
or maybe Christian or something?
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Josh Turner, good job.
Let's
You did
breeze-
it.
Let's breeze right by it. Call up Kafka because it's Metamorphosis by Hilary Duff.
Ooh. Yeah, this was like, I mean, the pipeline, Disney to pop star pipeline was really getting going at this time.
Yeah.
And it's a grand tradition that we still observe to this day.
I'm reading that Jeanette McCurdy book right now. And,
Yeah.
and even she was like they were
Well,
like pushing her to do the music stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, 17. Now, this is the main reason I wanted to go back to back past 15.
Okay.
Is because number 17 is so surprising that it's back that far.
Okay.
In the Zone, Britney Spears.
What? Brittany? This
Now-
is a travesty.
Is this the one? What does In the Zone have?
I don't know.
Let's click on it and see. In the Zone.
Sorry, I do love Britney, but I'm not well versed.
I mean, that's the record with Toxic.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. Toxic. I mean, the song that kind of changed the way that people perceived pop music for all time.
Yeah, and maybe looked back on as one of the greatest pop songs of all time. Massive, inescapable single of that year. It's not like it was a grower.
No.
So to see that record at 17 is like really surprising.
It was kind of like the Taylor Swift 1989 effect, where it like became a song where anyone could like it, where if you didn't like pop, you're like, but Toxic's pretty good though.
Right. Yeah. Bringing people together.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to breeze by the next few because just like the last video, the 2002 video, there's a lot of best ofs in here.
Oh, yeah.
So at the time, that's kind of how it was the best of. You couldn't go on Spotify and listen to their top tracks.
Right.
So we got number 16, greatest hits of the Eagles.
Cool. Yeah.
Then
Sure.
number 15, very best of Sheryl Crow.
I did have a Sheryl Crow album at one point in my life.
Interesting. I did not. Arriving at my favorite record of 2003, number 14, Blink-182 with Untitled, not self-titled, Untitled.
And we have a video on this album if you want to hear our thoughts, but we love it.
Yeah, that video doesn't have a lot of views either. Some of our other videos talking about Blink do. But if you want to hear us gush about Untitled for like a half an hour, go watch that video. It's pretty far back. All right. Now, number 13 is another greatest hits. This one's interesting because it's an example of like the greatest hits come and then they have like a million more albums since then. But it's the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Well, yeah, because you got to put out, once you have like it's usually not best of, it's singles. They always say like best of, but it's literally just the singles. It's not like they go in the deep cuts and be like, this is the best song. Just here's the singles. So once you have like 20 singles, then you just put out a single compilation.
And another big reason that was such a big selling one is they had a hit single from it, like like a new song, or what I suspect was maybe just from
like
the By the Way sessions. Okay. It was called Fortune Faded, I remember. All right, skipping a few here. Number 12, Alan Jackson. Number 11, Josh Groban with Closer.
No comment. Yeah, he seems like a cool guy.
Yeah. Hey, I'm in the office sometimes. All right. Number 10, we got quite the masterpiece here. Speaker Box / The Love Below by Outkast.
Do you know I listened to this album for the first time last year?
Whoa.
I of course knew the singles. This album was massive.
It was very big.
I cannot stress enough how massive this album was. Everyone was shaking it like a Polaroid picture. Everyone, even like the old ladies, they were like, "Oh, that song with the Polaroid picture."
Hey Ya was just one of the bigger singles of that time.
And like Roses too. I
was more of a Roses guy myself rather than Hey Ya.
And I feel like both of them were pretty much just as popular.
Yeah, and then I Like the Way You Move was
The Way You Move is
from
great.
Speaker Box.
Yeah.
A lot of big singles, a lot of big music videos too.
They had really cool music videos.
Yeah. What happened? They just stopped. I think I remember hearing they worked on a follow-up and then it just didn't materialize and that's it.
That's too bad.
Diary of Alicia Keys at number 9. Oh, yeah. Okay. I remember this one.
Is it the first one?
I don't know.
I don't think it is because she's wearing a hat on that one.
Okay.
It's like the hat, the kind of lady fedora.
Yeah. That was a thing for a while. In fact, in the prior Britney Spears album.
Oh, yeah.
She's got that.
Yeah. I mean, everyone was doing the fashion fedoras. It was kind of hip for a minute.
Now, if we're talking big, top, great pop songs, I think you can't leave out the other one of this year. I think the single came out the year prior. Like it was just on the line, you know? But number 8, Dangerously in Love by Beyonce.
Ooh. So this was her first solo album.
Man.
And people had no idea what they were about to experience.
I mean, you can't, like, that opening sample of Crazy in Love is like undeniable. It's one of the better hooks in a pop song that doesn't even have, before you even get to the vocal. Yeah. It's just like earworm, instant earworm.
I mean, Destiny's Child was huge. Like, don't get me wrong. They were massive also. But like, this was a risk for her kind of stepping out on her own as a solo artist, and to have such a strong single right off the bat, it was just like undeniable.
Yeah.
Like everyone always knew she was sort of the big deal in Destiny's Child, but still.
It's crazy how instantly she was the Beyonce we know today.
Not Beyonce Knowles, Beyonce.
Yeah. Now, we're going through this list. You may be asking yourself, yeah, great, Beyonce, blah, blah, blah. Okay, great. But where is the love? Number 7, Ella Funk, Black Eyed Peas.
This is, did this have Justin Timberlake on it, this song?
Huh? No.
One of their songs did.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I remember Where is the Love? Let's Get It Started.
Yeah.
Other ones as well.
Other songs.
Etc.
Black Eyed Peas were just, they were that band that just sold records. They just moved records. They moved music videos. It was all over MTV and VH1.
It's like a machine. Just like an instant machine.
It was just like party music, I guess. I mean, Where's the Love was kind of a softer, it was a message song. People felt good when they listened to it.
Now, Life for Rent by Dido is number 6. And I'm wondering how much did Stan contribute to her record sales?
Everything. She was unknown.
She was unknown before Stan?
I had never heard of her.
Really?
I had never heard of her. I think she's like, I can't remember. She's not American.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know how they got this song, like who like found this sample of Thank You. But yeah, and then that song became a hit in its own right. And she had quite a career over the years.
It was like that retroactive thing. I think it was already a single.
Yeah.
Eminem heard it, heard this different connotation about obsession, worked it into Stan, and then that keeps carrying the sales of Thank You.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's just like, you know, it's not riding the coattails. It was already its own hit, and then it just got even bigger. It just like compounds onto itself.
Well, yeah, and I mean, people liked the sample. Obviously, it's a good song, so it deserved to get its own moment in the sun.
Just in case this is the only time we're going to discuss Stan, I'd like to say that I can't stand the pencil noises. If we can get a version reissue.
You would listen to it if it didn't have the pencil.
I mean, it's not my kind of thing anyway, but those pencil sounds just like drive me up the wall.
I get it. It was weird. I was listening to like a Nelly Furtado album last year, and I had to skip multiple songs because it had like rain sounds in the background. And in my headphones, I was just like, I can't.
All right. Well, here's something that describes most of my jokes on this channel. They're often a long road. The Long Road by Nickelback. It's number 5.
Okay. So not their first album.
No, it's not Silver Side Up.
No.
It's The Long Road. And I don't know what this one had. You know, some of their songs that sounded like Nickelback.
Maybe it had Photograph on it?
I think it's earlier.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about the expertise I could give it. But let's move on to, number 4 is another collection of number ones. It's Michael Jackson. Number ones, bring in all the best bass lines, I'm sure. You know, the bassist doesn't get enough credit. A lot of those songs...
Nothing without the bass.
You know what comes in before the vocal? The bass line, and it's always killer.
That justice for the Michael Jackson's bassist.
Number 3... we'll breeze through because we're about to do a deep dive on it for its 20-year anniversary. It's Linkin Park with Meteora.
Yeah, again, no context here.
You've never heard it.
Never heard the album.
You've heard the new song, Lost, which we
was
discussed.
From that time.
Yeah, that is a sort of cut song from Meteora that's out now. And a big box set of Meteora is coming out, so we're going to dive into that soon. I did have a thought overall about Linkin Park's level of success back then, which is, I think, both in them and Evanescence, you can see the effects of like bands that like church kids can also get into.
Yeah.
Because they're like not cursing, there's no parental advisory, maybe their mom likes In the End or something, you know?
Yeah, it was sort of palatable heavy, you know?
So
and like POD was a Christian band.
Yeah.
And it was like that similar sound.
So you got this band that not only just like people that like rock or rap or whatever or new metal can get into, but that also is like seems like a bunch of wholesome young boys that that the Christian kids can get into.
Well, and also there was kind of a thing at the time where like you know, you could be like Christian music and be like cool or like, you know, be
like
kind
heavy.
of goth or skater or whatever. And so I think a lot of people gravitated towards that kind of music anyway.
Well, it was that or Newsboys.
Yeah.
So, all right, moving on to number 2, kind of the end of an era, an end of a sound. This is kind of the final one of its time. It's Get Rich or Die Tryin', 50 Cent.
50 Cent.
Oh, is that actually like...
I feel like it was. I don't know if it still is.
Well, you know, the reason I say that is because that sound... really, like, that was kind of the last big record I can think of with that rap sound before the Kanye thing.
Okay. I mean, the only thing I know off this is Into Club.
Right, yeah. I mean, it's that beat, like, that whole track is very indicative of, like, what I'm talking about. Like, that sort of died with what came next.
Yeah, it was sort of like how Nirvana, everyone always says Nirvana came in and changed rock forever.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, Kanye came in and like everyone was like, oh, okay, rap can be this now.
Yeah. So then you started to see such a sudden shift.
Yeah. And then you had the you had the Speaker Box Love Below same year too. So
Right, which like, what do you even call it?
Atlanta hip hop, yeah.
Half of it isn't even rap. I guess
Yeah.
the Big Boy part more is.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
And then Andre 3000's part is a whole different thing altogether. So a lot of changing going on in that genre. And now we get to number one. What do you think it is? I want your prediction.
No idea.
No idea?
I don't really, I'm bad with like fitting dates and like music together. You're really good at it.
Okay, so I'll give you a hint. It's something we talked about recently, and it's
Okay.
kind of a surprise.
2003.
2003, 20 years ago. Maybe it has a little bit of a rapper.
Has a rap a little here.
I'm going to rap a little here.
Wait, what is it?
It's Evanescence
Okay.
with Fallen,
I
the
was kinda
top
thinking-
selling album of 2003. That's crazy.
Everyone's mom had this album. Everyone's mom.
Everyone's mom?
Yeah, like this was one of those albums like kids had it, moms had it. They did. The ones who thought they were like the cool moms.
Okay. Yeah.
Cuz it was like I was like I'm edgy. I'm listening to this kid music.
Right.
But
I mean, it goes to show how big that song was. That lead single, "Bring Me to Life."
Yeah.
Just a hook that like everyone loved. I think even like my Aunt Jen liked that song.
Yeah.
Like everyone liked that song.
It's a great song. It's such a good song. I wish the rap wasn't in it. So do they.
You mean you don't like the guy from Forgotten Band here?
Yeah.
You know? And then, it's that 1-2 punch. You followed up with My Immortal, gets even more massive. So I guess I could see how it was the top selling album, but I'm still surprised.
It is surprising. I mean, it always is. What was it last time? It was like what, Nora Jones?
It was Nora Jones was number one.
So it has to be something that like has a super, super wide, reach,
Yeah.
and also like different like radio stations. Not just the at the time radio stations were a bigger thing, so it wasn't just like the pop radio station that could play it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Well, that was surprising, but it's fun to look at the list. I would have thought just going into it blind and knowing that's the year Toxic came out, I was
Yeah.
just going to be like, oh, In the Zone was number one, clearly. Number 17.
yeah. What was with that? Maybe Toxic was a little too out there for some of the. This is for some people, but all the kids loved it.
Well, we'll get into the connection between Toxic and Meteora in that video because there's some fun
That
stuff you could
exists.
do with those two songs, Faint and Toxic. Okay, so this is something we like to do. Last one didn't get a lot of views. We'll see how this one does. If you'd like to see more of it, we'll totally do more of it. Give us a year. Any year, we'll go back and we'll analyze what sold and why. Anything else?
The early 2000s is kind of our sweet spot because we were both listening to
Yeah.
a lot of this stuff. So but yeah, I mean, we'll talk about whatever. Might be a lot of, I don't know that one.
All right, this is Not Every Single. I'm Joe.
And I'm Stephanie.
We'll see you back in the present next video.